Stump Station, episode 3. Special guest on today's show, model and fitness influencer, working with Sephora Adidas, big model in Dubai, been on billboards all over Dubai. Almaha on episode 3. Welcome.
Hi, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolute pleasure. And for anyone that doesn't know you, describe yourself in 5 words.
Oh, I would say
Yeah, this is tough, right? What words do you think of when I say describe yourself?
magnetic. I would say beautiful, strong, healthy, kind.
Okay. I think those are nice words for anyone that doesn't know you. And also for anyone that wants to follow you, obviously we're going to be tagging all the social medias, your Instagram and TikTok. But for anyone that is just listening and wants your social medias, just let everyone know.
Okay, I am Almaha Plus on Instagram and on TikTok.
What we're going to do today, I want to go through, first of all, your journey, going through starting your modeling career, your fitness career, if you will, and your enthusiasm with it and blending the two together. And then we're going to go more into depths of the challenges and stuff like that. So when did the modeling get started for you?
It's been over a year now, to be honest with you. When I moved to Dubai, that wasn't my initial goal. It came like suddenly. Someone reached out to me from an agency and this is just when I opened an Instagram account, like a public one. Someone reached out to me and they were like, you have like unique features. We think you'd be a really good model. Have you ever thought about that? And I was like, no, I was at the time, I had a corporate job and I never had the idea in my mind to be that, to be honest. And then they reached out to me. They're like, just try it. We'll do portfolio photos for you. And then I thought, there's nothing to lose. Why not? Let me go and try that out. Obviously, I searched what the agency was to see if they're not a...
See if it's legit. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone else should do that, just to be clear.
Yes, of course. So I researched if they were legit. They were. And I was like, okay, cool. I have nothing to lose. Why not? At the time, I had my sister with me as well. And she was like, sure. And we actually we went together. We met them together. We had the first initial conversation with them together. And then later on, I scheduled a photo shoot with them. And then it went on from there.
That's so different to many people's journeys. Many people that want to be a model try and get into it and then try and get involved in an agency and yours approach, which makes you feel a bit better, right? You know?
Yeah. I mean, everyone is different, to be honest. For me, because I've never really thought about it and it wasn't something that I considered before, but then it came to me and I was like, why not? And then here I am.
And when you started, obviously it's not like what everyone thinks, right? You go from starting and then, oh, look, you're doing Fashion Week, right? So how was it getting started, like the first few months and going in that transition from, corporate job into modeling?
To be honest, initially it was kind of slow because I wasn't taking it serious. It wasn't something that I intended to start. So I took it as a fun little side project.
Okay, nice.
So that's how it started. The first, I would say, months, I would get contacted and things like that. And I would get a lot of job opportunities. But if it would clash with work, I wouldn't take it. And if it didn't, and if it aligned with what I liked and what I wanted to do, then I would take it. For example, if it did clash with, like, let's say a work day, I would take the day off. If it's a worthwhile shoot, then I would do it. If not, then work for me came first.
No, of course. And when did you make that transition of, okay, halas, I'm going to go at this full time and leave my job and try and do modeling as a career? When did you make that decision and how did that go?
That decision was made almost a year ago now. It was around summertime last year. I felt like I wasn't really growing in the job that I was in. And I felt like I saw many opportunities and many opportunities in modeling. And I didn't look at it as just that. I looked at it as modeling and creating content and it was more, for me, it was more than just a modeling job. Like, it's not just going to a photo shop and then that's it. For me, I was like, this can open the door for other things as well. For me, my actual job, I felt like didn't do that for me. I felt like I wasn't really growing, or I wasn't myself in it. I felt like I had to do it because I needed to do it, not because I wanted to. Yeah, so slowly but surely, I made the decision of like slowly phasing out of work and focusing more on taking on more jobs. So remember the balance that I mentioned before, where it was like, no, I'm putting work first, and if something with modeling happened and I was free, let's say if it was a weekend, whatever, then I would take it on. The balance shifted. It was like, no, I'm taking now more jobs, and I'm not going into work as much, and I'm not putting like caring enough for it. And then the balance was kind of off, and I was like, okay, now more of my energy and focus and time is going into modeling and content creation now. And then I was like, I feel like this is it for me. Again, and going back, I felt like I wasn't growing not in a career, but as a person as well. In the corporate job, I felt like I wasn't connecting with a lot of people. I felt so disconnected from everyone. I felt like this wasn't the calling for me, I was just doing it to survive, basically.
And for anyone that does have a job they don't like, or it doesn't feel like they're growing, and they want to make that jump and quit and go into modeling or go into fitness or go into something, what advice would you give them that want to go into a similar situation?
To be honest, there's so many factors to it. I'm not gonna say you can't do that. Like, don't just quit and then don't have a backup or have all. Obviously, do it. There was a lot of thought that came behind it, and a lot of let's say stressors that came with that. The advice that I would give is obviously, one, you need to be strong. You need to have so much confidence. You need to know for sure that this is the next step you want to take. Even if you're, let's say, you weren't 100% sure that the shift was exactly what you wanted. For me, like, let's say modeling wasn't 100% what I wanted to do, but I knew it was going to open the door for other things for me. For my job, I didn't feel that. So for modeling, I did. I was like, because I know not necessarily I'm not going to be a model for the rest of my life. I knew that this was the gateway for other things. So I was like, I felt that with this. So I need to put more energy and time into that. So my advice would be, sit with yourself and see, and actually reflect and see, is this the right shift for me? Will this put me in the right path? Again, you don't need to know the end result, but will it take me there, if that makes sense?
No, of course. And like you said, a big thing about, taking that jump if you feel like it's the next step on the right path. And you said modeling isn't going to be your thing forever. And I think for a lot of women that are young and they are beautiful and they're like, I want to be a model, realizing that modeling isn't forever is key. So you realizing that just starting is amazing, but what is that door opening moment for you where this is just a stepping stone? What's the next step for you? Because you said this is a stepping stone. So what's next?
That's a good question. I do wanna get into that, but going back to the previous point, I also want to mention, like, this is super important. You also have to have like a good support system when you do that, because doing that, not saying you can't do it alone 100%, but for me, thankfully, like, I had a good support system. I had loved ones. I have obviously my sister. Like, knowing that I have that backbone with me, and them also seeing that yes, you can be successful in that path, made me feel more confident that yes, this is the right move, because I got that encouragement. I got that support system with me.
Yeah, of course. And I think when you have people with you that support you on your next step or the next stage of your journey, and especially leaving one industry to another, it's a huge risk, right? So when you have people, it can be massively beneficial. And for you, during this time, this is when you got really involved in fitness and you got really into the gym. You smile when I say that quite massively, and I feel like you are now obsessed.
Yeah. I can tell, yes. So yes, I am. And this is also part of the stepping stone. I feel like for me, the next step could be something relating to that, because I love making content around fitness, around working out. If you watch my content, I love...
Don't smile, they watch your content. They watch your content. You don't need to laugh, they watch. Anyway, continue.
Well, since you watch my content, I love combining femininity with strength. That's my thing. I feel like you can look good and you can lift heavy.
From someone that doesn't look good when they work out, and you've seen me work out, I don't look pretty. I don't think I could do that. You know, I'm a bit of a sweaty mess, whereas you're not any of those words when you're working out. Maybe a little sweaty, but not a mess. So I think this is a big thing because in the gym, I think we get criticized and judged a lot, right? And whether you look good, look bad, you're on a journey. How do you go past that? Because you're a model, you're pretty, and you even said that yourself, right? You're in that industry, so you're in the gym, you're looking good, you're wearing makeup, you're trying to look feminine and strong. How do you get over, say, looks or criticism or even bad comments or bad looks when you're in that place?
To be honest, and that's just me, I don't care what other people think.
Yeah.
All I care about is feeling good, looking good. Just all I care about is how I feel about myself. If someone else has an opinion about me, at the end of the day, that's a reflection of who they are. If anyone says a bad thing, I never take it like personally. I'm like, because sometimes people would say like, oh, like you look like you haven't worked out, for example.
No, I was just gonna say, well, if you look at you when you're working out and me when I'm working out, I look like I died, and you look like you've got ready for another shoot. So this is why they probably say that.
Thank you. That doesn't mean I didn't like. I feel like my results speak for themselves. So I'm confident in what I do, and I don't care about what other people say. So that never was a thing that bothered me. People can say whatever they think. At the end of the day, it's a reflection of who they are and not a reflection of me.
No, that's true. And I think for someone that is on the other end of the fitness world, in terms of I'm someone that sweats, I get dirty, I don't look good when I work out, I look like a mess. So, and people probably look at me thinking I'm crazy, right? They probably look at you and think the opposite. They think, what has she done? You know? And then they don't know that you've just hit a deadlift PR like literally about 10 seconds before, right? And how do you get that balance in life of, going to the gym, committing to your goals, committing to your fitness goals, as well as trying to grow yourself in the modeling industry, as well as trying to grow on social media? How do you get the balance of all three?
Wait, how do I get the balance of?
How do you get the balance of being in the gym, hitting PRs, getting stronger, getting fitter, trying to grow on social media, trying to be a model at the same time? Like, you're trying to do all three of these things to the highest level possible.
Yeah.
How do you get the balance?
Okay, now I get the question and I love it. In my eyes, they're interrelated. So obviously looking good benefits my modeling job, example. Obviously, that also benefits with content, like strength-wise. So it's how I see it, it's all interrelated. I'm getting lost in the question.
No, it's fine. It's fine. So like right now in your life, right now where you're at, in every part of it, like what would you say takes the first choice?
Between the three you mentioned?
Yeah.
Like my modeling, fitness, and content creation?
Yeah. What is number one? What is the first thing that you think about and want to do?
No, I love fitness. I love but I feel like that's top because it affects the others as well. Like being healthy, being fit means you look good, you feel good, everything. You're healthy, you're strong. Like so, I'd say health and fitness, and then the other things if I had to like choose, and then yeah, I'd say that.
I know there's a question that I knew the answer to, so just to be here, I was a bit of an arsehole because I knew the answer, right? And the reason why is because I think it's so key that people prioritize their physical health and mental health before their career, right? I get what you mean. Like if I don't work out, or I don't plan my workout, I get stressed. Even if I've got a really busy day, I need to know when I'm exercising. I need to know when I'm doing stuff. Are you the same?
Yeah, I love to know when I'm working out. Like I love to plan out my day sometimes, and I do get sometimes like, oh, you need to be spontaneous, and I am. I'm not like 100% key to the schedule, but I like to know that today I'm doing, let's say, for example, push, and then later I have like a shoot, and then or if I'm given the shoot timings, then I'm like, okay, I'm working out in the morning, and then I'm gonna do the shoot. This is how I like to operate.
So what does an average day look like to you?
An average day for me is waking up as early as I can. So I've been waking up at like 7:30. If it's super late, 8. I tend to not like to gravitate towards my phone as soon as I wake up, because I know that like this your dopamine. So I was like, when I wake up, I don't want to grab my phone immediately. So I do a quick 10 to 15-minute meditation in bed, which is super easy. Anyone can do.
That's not a nap, right? That's actually meditation. I mean, very clear.
I don't like to nap.
No, I know that. Just want to make it very clear that it's not a nap.
Going back to sleep. But that's me meditating.
Yeah, just meditating, snooze. Like,
No. I wake up and then I would go to the bathroom, and then I would do my skincare, and I would do my morning affirmations, basically. I would try not to have coffee in the first hour of the morning. I would drink my electrolytes, and then I would journal for a little bit. Mostly, then this is something I recommend everyone doing, to be honest. It helps a lot. Just writing simple gratitudes in the morning. After that, then I would probably grab my phone, right? And then see who messaged, who emailed me, if I got any messages on Instagram, things like that. And then I start replying. And then after that, I would make my pre-workout meal, and then I would give myself a block of work in the morning. If I'm speaking, if I didn't have a shoot that day, for a few hours where I message brands, I message agencies, I message bookers, modeling bookers, and follow up with them if I have any jobs, if anything was lined up for the week. And then try to plan out my week from then. After that, I would do a quick content planning. Like, okay, if let's say I have legs today, what am I gonna film? How am I gonna film it? For example, captions am I gonna use? Like, put an idea in my mind that these are the clips I'm gonna take today. And when you write my workouts, I look at it and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna film this, I'm gonna film that, whatever.
So just to make it clear, I write your workouts. No one, we haven't said that yet. But yeah, so I coach you, I write your workouts. And so I kind of know some of the things already, but yeah.
Okay. So he writes my workouts. So I always love to know what I'm doing before I go. Obviously, I don't like to go in blind. And then after I do content planning, and then I start getting ready to work out. Maybe film a get ready with me to go to the gym. And once I do, I go to the gym to work out, and then I start filming the content that I planned. After that, I would have a post-workout meal, and then I would edit everything.
Okay. This whole routine is when like you don't have a shoot. So when you have a shoot, does it just depend on when it is, how long it is, and things like that?
100%, yeah. Because sometimes it's super early in the morning. If it's super early, I'd have like a 6 a.m. call time, or 9 a.m. So I have to, if it's 6 or 9, I have to wake up a few hours before to get ready to get there. So if it's 6, I wake up at 4. If it's 9, I wake up at whatever, 7, 6. Shower, get ready, go there. If it's early morning, I would shoot depending on how long the shoot is for. Sometimes it's 5 hours. If it's a short one, sometimes it's 6, 8, or 12 hours. So it depends. If it takes the whole day, that means I get to work out in the evening. If it takes like 5, 6 hours, that's great. That means I still have time in the day to go and shoot and film. Yeah, it depends. It really depends on what I have booked for the day. Sometimes in the day, I would only have like callbacks or castings.
Yeah.
So that would take like an hour to hour max, and then I would get back and continue with that.
And look, I'm not going to ask you numbers, but I want to know, does it make a difference on the amount of hours you work, on the amount of money you get, or does it depend on the brand? So like, let's say you work 5 hours or you work 12 hours. Do you get paid more money per hour, or is it based off the brand you're working with and how big they are and how big the project is? Which one's better? Is it to go for more hours, or is it better to go for bigger brands? Which one pays more?
To be honest, it depends. Sometimes you would get a big brand for lesser hours, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they would pay you a lot. Because it depends on the usage. Like if it's, for example, just for social media, and they would pay, and then it was just for like 2-3 hours. They wouldn't pay you a lot, even if it's a really big brand. Let's say the hours were, it depends on the project and the usage, and it always, it's not a set stone.
So like, for example, right, you've worked with Sephora, you've worked with Adidas, you've been on a billboard in Dubai, right? All of these are big things. So two of the brands,
Yeah.
big brands, but then also you're on a billboard. Was the billboard like a bigger project because your face is all over the city?
Yeah. Yeah.
So basically the moral of the story is, one, watch out for your face in Dubai because you're going to see it. And two, get yourself on billboards because it pays more, right?
I mean, yeah, technically, yeah, that's true.
Was it pretty cool to see yourself on a billboard?
It was cool, obviously, and it was initially it was like, like it's kind of weird, but then you're like, oh, that's yeah.
Yeah. What was like a moment in your career that you were like, this is so fucking cool?
When I got featured in Vogue Arabia,
Yeah, that's pretty.
that was so cool. I sent it to my sister. I sent it to
Everyone, yeah. I would do the same.
yeah. It was.
I doubt that would feature me, but I'd send it to everyone too, you know?
You never know.
So was that the first thing for you? You're like, wow, this is like a brand that I'm like pretty proud to be a part of, you know?
Yeah. Honestly, yeah. It was a really good moment for me.
Now it's like, look, you're doing well, you're in all three parts and you're looking to grow. But there's obviously hard times, right? You're an Arab woman putting yourself out there on social media, putting yourself out there in the gym, you're putting yourself in modeling. And, you know, in the Middle East, not everyone agrees with this being right or wrong. So how do you deal with criticism on whether that be in person, whether that be online? Like, because I can't imagine everyone agrees with what you said, right?
Yeah. At the end of the day, a lot of people will have different opinions about you and what you do. I believe that you're not put in this life to make other people happy. As long as I feel content with what I do and I'm happy with what I do, that's all that matters. And obviously, people around me, people that I care about what they think. People will always have a negative opinion about you, and that's something you have to accept, and you can't change that. You know what I mean? So you have to accept that people will say negative things about you and not agree with what you're doing, especially us in the Middle East. People will have not the best things to say, which is fine. That's their own opinion, but that you never let that shake you as a person.
No, of course. Like, you know, I've been in Saudi 8 years, and even me, like, I would get criticized for working out my t-shirt off, right? And that's just something small. And I'm a man, so it can be different for a woman in the Middle East, especially with opinions. And was it hard to make that step, to put yourself out there, like to make that decision on, okay, I'm gonna put myself out there. I'm gonna post myself in gym clothes. I'm going to be a model. I'm going to put myself out there as a brand to grow. Was that quite a hard decision to make, to do that at the beginning?
100%, because we all grew up in in a certain way, and we all have the idea that we'll be criticized for and we'll be like shunned for. But again, I feel like we're looking at the negatives of it. One thing that also helps me is I feel like I'm also representing people that do want to do these things. A lot of girls do want to do this, but they feel like maybe they can't, or they don't have the confidence to, or they're same thing, like they grew up a certain way and feel like these restrictions are there and they can't. But then now they get to see it and be more encouraged to do so.
Of course, and like with Saudi and the Middle East opening up, what would you say to younger women that want to grow a brand, that want to put themselves out there and, you know, show their face to the world and be fine with it? What advice would you give to them that maybe that may contradict some other things in their life? What would you say to them that want to make that leap?
As long as that's something that makes you happy, and how do I say this? As long as you're content and happy with what you do, and you believe in yourself and you think like, I don't know how to word it.
Yeah, it's okay. Senna, are you happy?
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy with where I am. I'm happy with where I'm going, and I believe that more successes are to come. So I'm always,
Yeah. So let's say 5 years from now, you know, imagine yourself in 5 years, imagine Maha in 5 years' time looking back on yourself. What have you achieved? What have you done? Where do you see yourself?
I'm looking at myself from 5 years.
Yeah. So what have you, that person you see, what does it look like?
My future self, you mean?
Yeah.
Successful, wealthy, happy, content, doing what she loves, free. Yeah.
So what does success look like to you?
Success to me is doing what I love, surrounded by people that I love, just free and content and happy. That's success.
Is that different to now?
It's not that I don't feel it now. I do feel it now. I just feel like no, I do feel it now. I do feel successful.
Yeah.
But
No, it's good. I'm just trying to go harder and deeper, right, with the questions. So what's the level up? If you feel that now, how do you word it in a way that's the next level? Because if you're in the same place you are now in the next 5 years, even though you feel it now, you don't want to be in the same place, right?
that's true.
So in 5 years' time, what's the deeper level of that success? And I don't care if it's materialistic, I don't care, whatever. What is it to you? Like, where would you want to be? What would you want to live? What would you want to have? Like, if it's that, or is it living a certain lifestyle? What is it for you that's like, oh yeah, that's what I want?
Shit, it's kind of hard.
That's fine. You can go as deep as you want and you can say it how you want, right? But what is that for you? And you can word it however you want, don't worry. No one, I don't care, no one cares. You don't care about judgments, so it's fine.
I would say to be able to take care of the people that I love, to be able to spoil them, spoil myself. I do spoil myself, but I want to be able to do that in a higher level. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not just me, everyone that's around me. Be financially free, live or travel wherever I want, that kind of thing.
So like just a bit more freedom on life, right? A bit more freedom on...
Obviously, I feel like that's something that a lot of people want.
What would be, if you could just give one tip, just one on-the-spot tip to women that want to get started in fitness and want to get started on their fitness journey, what's that one tip?
I actually have a really good tip. Reach out to Mr. Stump, right?
This is not paid, right? Like, this isn't it. I wasn't expecting that, but like, what was that?
Obviously, I mean, like he is my coach for what, almost 2 years, 1 year and a half.
Year and a half, yeah.
And I'm not saying this because he's my coach and close friend.
Yeah. Yeah. Sounds like a lie now, you laugh, but it's okay.
But he's actually very encouraging, very responsive. He tailors my plan to my needs. Even I bug him all the time. I message him all the time, and he's he's very responsive. Yeah. Very like, never was like, Maha, khalas, stop messaging me. Like he's always like, okay.
I think I can. I don't think
There's conflict.
There's conflict there. I don't think I'm allowed to say that.
But he's very encouraging, always changing my plans. He helped me become like a stronger version of myself, and I always will be grateful for that. And still am, because he's still my coach,
Thank you. I know, well, that wasn't the tip I was expecting, but thank you very much. I appreciate it.
It's the truth, though.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it a lot.
But I don't appreciate that you said that I wouldn't get podium for High Rocks.
Well, look, it's like saying if you started to do CrossFit, you're going to podium at the CrossFit Games. Of course you won't.
I wanted to, I would.
There's being unrealistic, and then there's
He's too realistic.
No, I'm not realistic, but you can't start a competition, literally just start a competition first time and be like, I'm gonna podium. It's like, especially when you've not done it before, the training. If you were doing the training for this time, I'd be like, okay, let's try it. But anyway, so what I'm gonna do is now, I'm gonna finish up with a bit of fun questions and then a nice little bit at the end. So you have 2 seconds to answer these questions. Oh, no. This is quick fire questions, 2 seconds. Don't worry, they're not that hard. This is literally just to put you on the spot, okay? It's 4 questions, super easy. Okay. Favorite cheat meal?
Burger, sushi.
Sushi, I'm gonna take sushi, that's okay. Dream brand collaboration?
Gymshark.
Oh, okay. Favorite gym exercise?
Bench press.
And what is the biggest achievement you're most proud of?
Doing a shoot for Adidas.
Do you know what? That wasn't 2 seconds, but I'll let you off. This is good. This is good.
I couldn't think.
It's okay. It's okay. So basically, Gymshark and Adidas, all gym related and model related. So I love it. That's all good. So one more thing is, if people didn't listen to the whole podcast and they don't actually care, what is one sentence that you want people to remember you for? If you could summarize yourself in one sentence that you want to be remembered for.
Summarize me in one sentence?
Yeah.
Damn. I would say looking good, lifting heavy, feeling pretty, being strong, being confident. I don't know if that works, but
No, I love it. Guys, we'll see you next time. And Almaha, thank you very much for being on the podcast. And whatever platform you're on, make sure you subscribe or follow. Cheers, guys.